Consider a world where you're happy, not connected to the love you get from other people, where the desire looks. The unanswered calls and the messages that are on your mind don't specify your emotional condition. This isn't a story from antiquity, but a fact that you can live here now. Stoicism is an old school of thought that has endured the passage of time, instructs us precisely that. It enables us to locate inner contentment and tranquility regardless of our outside factors. However, how does this relate? To desire a person to miss you good in the field of connections and love. We frequently find ourselves yearning for attention and other people's love, thinking that this exterior confirmation is the secret of our contentment. However, Stoicism presents a method that defies logic by concentrating on personal development, building emotional self-reliance, and valuing the here and now moment of detachment. We unintentionally grow more appealing and ironically more likely to be overlooked. In the video for today, we delve deeply into the Stoic manner of living and loving, how by accepting the fundamentals of Stoicism, we are not limited to enhance our life, but also change our connections in the most surprising ways. Join me as we explore how to make them miss you, not through gaming or planning every action you take, but by turning into a lighthouse of independence and satisfaction, and your support, as always, is extremely important to us. A straightforward but powerful how you can assist is by clicking the subscribe button. It's a little act that goes a long way. Stay with us, please, all during the video, as each component has been meticulously constructed to direct you toward a more satisfying and a Stoic lifestyle. Self-development. In our pursuit of joy and satisfaction, it's quite simple. To get caught up in the pursuit of exterior confirmation, we frequently assess our own value by the responses, views, and focus we get from other people, particularly in the realm of interpersonal connections. What if I told you, though, it is more empowering? A lasting route to contentment. The road of Stoicism instructs us to concentrate on what we can control, our ideas and deeds and responses, while acknowledging things beyond our control, which encompasses the emotions and other people's actions. This does not imply turning into apathetic or emotionless. Instead, it's about realizing the real satisfaction and self-worth originate internally, not from someone else's acceptance or focus. Consider it. When our pleasure is at stake on being overlooked or someone's desire, we cede our authority. We start acting impulsively. To what they did or absence of, this may result into an emotional roller coaster, but Stoicism provides us with the instruments to get off this ride by developing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. We create a robust and resilient, a happy-going character in personal development and individual accomplishments. This does not imply we ought to keep to ourselves or give up on other people. Stoicism does not support with the purpose of becoming emotionally detached. However, for emotional fortitude, it motivates us to develop healthy, meaningful connections founded on respect for one another and comprehension, not on dependency or necessity. Additionally, by setting priorities, personal development, naturally we grow more fascinating and appealing to others. Individuals attract others. They possess self-assurance, fervent in their endeavors, and satisfied with oneself. So, ironically, the less we concentrate on causing someone to miss us, the more probable it is to occur, since we're living our best lives, most genuine lives. So let's begin to change our focus. From looking for approval to cultivate our inner selves, let's devote time to acquiring new abilities, investigating new pastimes, and strengthening our knowledge of our identity and our values. This personal development journey is not just satisfying on its own, but also makes us more excellent and, missable in other people's eyes. Recall, The objective of Stoicism is not to repress our urges or disregard our need for relationships, but as a reminder that our joy and value are independent of each other. On them, by securing ourselves within the Stoic ideals, we can live in harmony, contentment, and genuine autonomy. Thus, let's adopt a Stoic mindset, concentrating on improving oneself and discovering happiness inside ourselves, as that's where the truth. Happiness is found in self-reliance and emotional fortitude. The essence of Stoicism is the comprehension that our responses to outside occurrences are under our authority, even when the actual events aren't. This idea is immensely empowering. This indicates that we have the key to our feelings, giving us a degree of liberating independence. Emotional fortitude based on Stoicism has nothing to do with numbing ourselves to emotions or distancing from our surroundings. Rather than, it's about recognizing our feelings, comprehending them, and choosing not to allow them to determine what we do. The Stoics advocated for concentration on the things we can manage and relinquishing what we are unable to. This is more than just a tactic. For one's own tranquility, it serves as a roadmap to emotional fortitude. When we cease permitting outside variables like other people's behavior or social influences to affect our health, we foster a feeling of autonomy that is both profound and useful. This self-reliance does not imply seclusion. Conversely, it allows us to participate with the world from a position of power and confidence. Think about the idea of emotional fortitude in connection to relationships. We learn from Stoicism that while we are able to love and concern for others, our happiness shouldn't depend on their existence or consent. This viewpoint inspires us to establish connections on the base of regard for one another and a sincere relationship, instead of reliance or a dread of being alone. Through cultivating emotional fortitude, we are able to experience profound, meaningful connections without becoming one with them. Additionally, the focus of Stoicism on living in accordance with nature, embracing the flow and air of life, strengthens our capacity for emotional resilience. It serves as a reminder that change is the sole constant. Considering that our capacity must adjust to this shift is a gauge of our power. This flexibility does not arrive from a state of inaction, but via active participation with our principles, objectives, and the quest for morality. Thus, how can we cultivate this self-reliance as well as emotional fortitude? Self-awareness is the first step. Reflecting on a regular basis on our feelings and thoughts, our reactions to the difficulties of life. It entails cultivating appreciation, concentrating on the here and now, and taking part in events that are consistent with our basic beliefs. And most importantly, it calls on us to confront our impressions, pondering whether our emotional reactions are grounded in the reality of today or antiquated notions. When adopting Stoicism, we gain the ability to handle life's storms, nor by looking to other people for protection, but by serving as our beacon of light. This path to self-reliance as well as emotional fortitude is not an isolated instance. It benefits from the knowledge of those who came before us on this route. As we include Stoic values into our daily lives, we discover that our ability to be joyful, our resilience amidst hardship, and our capacity to uphold harmonious partnerships all experience exponential growth, making your life meaningful. Seneca and other Stoic philosophers, Aurelius Marcus, as well as Epictetus, frequently discussed the significance of leading a life in harmony with one's own essence and the universe's nature. This fundamentally is about realizing what counts most in life and committing ourselves to it. For the Stoics, meaning is discovered not in outward achievements or the building up of riches and honors, but in the development of virtue, integrity, and wisdom. It's about making a contribution to the general welfare, participating in community and cultivating connections founded on deference and comprehension, establishing a purposeful existence, then includes a thorough investigation into our inner selves, posing challenging queries regarding who we are and our values. It needs us to determine our values and to live by them, even in the face of difficulties or when it would be simpler to just follow the current of social norms. Stoicism serves as a guide. In this self-examination, asking us to think about not only what we do, but the motivations behind them. Are we behaving morally, or do we have a passion that drives us? For outside confirmation. Additionally, Stoicism teaches us regarding the transience of outside circumstances and the significance of concentrating on what's left within our authority. This viewpoint is freeing. It releases us from oppression, of attempting to exert control, the unmanageable, and focuses our efforts on where we can actually change things. Our personal dispositions, decisions, and reactions to the environment we live in this manner, producing a purposeful existence, is less about our accomplishments and more about our way of life and the attitude that we get closer to our days. Adopting a grim outlook on life, furthermore, denotes recognizing that pain and failures are inevitable. Aspects of the human experience, rather of seeing them as barriers to our contentment, we can consider them to be chances for development, resilience, and a more profound comprehension of life's intricacies. This does not imply we look for pain, instead that we discover significance in conquering it, gaining knowledge from it, and proceeding with a more resilient attitude and a heart that is more sympathetic in actuality producing. Living a meaningful life entails little daily activities as much as it does large-scale actions. It can be found in the generosity we demonstrate to others, the honesty with which we carry out our work, and the fervor we contribute to our endeavors. It's in the time we spend to consider our position in the cosmos, to value the natural world, to perform self-care tasks, and to cultivate relationships with other people. These actions, founded on Stoic ideals, combine to create a mosaic of a life well spent. Let's not forget the voyage of Stoicism in the direction of a fulfilling life is not a solo undertaking. We tread this path together, helping one another through the exchange of knowledge and encounters. By establishing Stoicism as our compass, we provide ourselves with the necessary equipment, not only to overcome obstacles in life, but to flourish in their presence, discovering happiness, meaning, and purpose at each stage of the trip, giving up the need for control. Early on, the Stoics realized that much of our annoyance, fear, and even hopelessness results from our insistence on managing the unmanageable. We frequently use a lot of energy attempting to influence the situation results, and even others at our discretion, just to discover how much of it is outside of our reach. This insight isn't intended to discourage us, rather than it's meant to set us free. Escape bonds that one has placed on oneself that obligate us to unrealistic expectations. Accepting the counsel of Stoicism on giving up the urge for command does not imply we turn into passive watchers of our own life. Instead, it's about concentrating our endeavors in the arena where we can actually change things, our inner world. It lies within our perceptions, choices, and responses that we actually have power. Here, we can grow qualities such as patience, comprehension, and fortitude. Peace can be found here. Giving over control based on the idea of Stoicism entails a profound acceptance of the event's organic flow. It's about comprehending the distinction in between our endeavors and their results. Realizing that while we can work to exert influence over the former, the latter frequently falls outside our immediate impact. This does not disprove the importance of effort. It just puts it in from a more wholesome standpoint. When we coordinate our activities with our principles and separate from particular results, we approach life more fully and genuinely. Furthermore, this Stoic instruction invites us to watch every minute as a chance, to put acceptance into practice and to become wiser. It challenges us to consider our profound, ingrained notions of control, achievement, and safety in doing so. We frequently find that where the real power is not in attempting to govern the outside world, however, in mastering our internal environment. Practically speaking, relinquishing the wish for control entails accepting adaptability and flexibility. It entails being receptive to the unexpected, gaining the bravery to deal with uncertainty with a composed attitude and a heart that is open. It's about developing response skills to the difficulties of life with grace, seeing them as chances for one's own development and introspection. As we take this into consideration, Stoic values into our daily lives, we discover that our bonds get stronger, we experience less stress, and our gratitude for the current period rises. We start to comprehend that have authority is not the secret to contentment. Balance, acceptance, and internal peace are giving up our need for control, as Stoicism teaches, is not about giving up our authority, but instead about taking it back. In its strongest form, it's an adventure to inner liberty, characterized by a deep change in our perception and engage with the outside world. When we set off on this adventure, we find a life marked not by the outside verification of control, but by the peace's internal confirmation resilience, as well as a profound, enduring sense of direction. As we conclude our investigation of Stoicism and its profound lessons, it's evident that this old school of thought provides more than merely a collection of guidelines. It offers a lifestyle, firmly anchored in wisdom, tenacity, and harmony. Stoicism tells us to concentrate on what really counts, helping us navigate the ebb and flow and the course of life with poise and grace. The drills and exercises we've talked about are more than only theoretical ideas, but useful instruments that can be incorporated into the fabric of our everyday existence, converting obstacles into chances for development and a more profound comprehension. When adopting Stoicism, we're not merely acquiring knowledge to disengage from the results that we have no influence over. Additionally, we're learning to value and give it your all with the current time, to recognize the beauty and ease of use, and to cultivate relationships. Things are abundant in virtue and significance. It's about growing a peaceful haven within that doesn't waver, regardless of the storms might be furious outside. This path to Stoic existence does not guarantee a life free from difficulty or suffering. Rather than, it makes a promise, much more valuable: the ability to endure hardship with bravery, the ability to make wise decisions in line with virtue, and the composure to acknowledge what we are powerless to alter. It shows us that even if we might not be in charge over the outside world, we possess the authority to manipulate our senses, choices, and responses. When we apply Stoic values into our daily life, we discover that our viewpoint on happiness, achievement, and contentment starts to change. We learn that the truth, contentment, arrives not from outside praise or belongings, but from living in accordance with our core principles and virtues, and in this finding, the secret is in there. To a life of deep purpose and happiness, I appreciate you being here. During this voyage at the Stoic Journal, where age-old knowledge meets contemporary living, let's carry on exploring and develop together. For additional information, you are welcome to observe. Among the recommended videos till the next time, on the screen, recall the inside voyage is the most important, the voyage of all.